Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the Oklahoma Sports Network's consent is prohibited. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be used without express written consent.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Bricktown Brewery here in Midwest City, Oklahoma. Every Wednesday night is half-off pizza night. You can also download the Bricktown Brewery app, and you can earn discounts. We want to thank Bricktown Brewery for sponsoring us this evening. Tonight is a special presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network Coaches Show here in Mid-Del, and it is the Carl Albert Championship Show. And on the show this evening, to start out, we have Coach Mike Dunn and Coach John Herbert, and it's just good to have you guys here. It's a great night to be able to celebrate. We've got a bunch of the players here, have an opportunity to talk to several of them.
Right.
And so, Coach Dunn, just give us a little idea of how you're feeling now. This is Tuesday after a Saturday night victory.
Right.
You probably didn't get home till 2 in the morning.
Yeah. No, it was late. Yeah, I feel a little more rested, but I don't think we'll truly get the rest that we need until Christmas break, which we're a few days away now with 3 days left of school, and then we'll get to enjoy some rest and relaxation. But feeling really good about things this week. I joke around a lot. It's good problems, champagne problems.
Right.
That there's a lot of work this week. It's kind of funny because your routine during football season. It's pretty set, but this week it's championship pitchers. We got to do that today, which is always fun. It's just a lot of work. Takes a little bit of time, but it's always fun. We designed a team store today, and that'll be put out here in the next couple of days. We got to meet with BSN and those guys, and they always do a really cool thing for us, and that's kind of their gift to us. They help our kids with fundraising with the rings, and so we like to do that. We're going to order rings tomorrow, and we spent some time in the locker room cleaning up. So there's just a lot of stuff you got to do the week after, which it's always a lot more fun to do that after you win a state championship. So just excited for these kids, excited to be here tonight and get to talk a little bit about a really fun season.
All right. Well, Coach Herbert, were you able – we never got you on the coaches show that we do on Wednesday, isn't that right? We never did that.
No.
So defensive coordinator, and you just had a decent season, didn't you?
Yes. It's a really good group of guys that we really had back from the previous year. All the secondary is back. We had both linebackers back, and the concern we had was the D-line. And I think that really as we got going in the spring and into the fall early in scrimmages, we kind of realized that we had a really good group there. Mm-hmm. And, it was 11 guys that played really well together, and they really bought into what we were trying to do defensively, and they had a good understanding of it. And I think we gave up 8 touchdowns total all year. That includes some time at end of games after we had taken out, the ones. Right. And, it's a good time for those guys that are backups that are going to get to play next year to get some time in. And, to give up 8 touchdowns all year it's pretty incredible. We almost averaged, I think, 8 touchdowns a game offensively.
Right.
So just a really special group, and they were really committed on both sides of the ball. We always say we don't have an offense or a defense. We just have a football team. Because
exactly.
If you look out there on special teams, it's all the same guys. So it was a really good group, a lot of fun, and it's great. It seems like it happens real fast. It's, all of a sudden the state championship game was here and we played it, and then it's over.
Right.
And really gonna miss those guys because those are a really good group, and but.
Well,
really excited for them to do 3 in a row. It's a big deal.
Exactly, and not to look ahead because this is our championship night, but at the same time, you're talking about the defensive line. Those guys are all coming back.
Yeah, it's a good nucleus, and that's a good place to start. And some guys are going to have to step up in the back end and in the forcing unit. As far as linebackers go, and we'll just hey, we'll worry about that when we worry about it.
Sure.
They get this week off, and when we get back in January, it'll be the hunt for the next one. But it seems like this year is different because normally we have 2 weeks off. This year we're getting the 5 days, and then we're going to Christmas break. So it's a different feeling. It
Right.
seemed like it was a 19-week season.
Exactly.
So it's really long, and our guys, that last week of practice when we were going in, we were doing meetings, we were doing the weight room, and everything that we always do. You could just tell on their face that they were just ready to go play.
Yeah.
It had been a lot, and we ask a lot, and they give us a lot, and it's just really appreciative of everybody. Young guys, sophomores that are scout team guys that they're asked a lot too. And just the consistency that our team had was really incredible, and we're really blessed in that way that we had a bunch of seniors that led the way on that.
Absolutely. Well, talking about those seniors, and several of them are here this evening, you just had the opportunity. You worked. I mean, some of those seniors started 4 years ago as freshmen,
Yeah.
and so you've had a good long run with a bunch of these guys.
Yeah.
And was it? I mean, we know the defense was spectacular this year, but you were probably able to do a few more things this year just because you had all of that history with those guys.
Yeah, we did some things a little differently that we kind of started in the spring. Not really different. Just we kind of tied a lot of things together that we've been putting together, scheme-wise, and everything just sort of fell into place, with this group as far as how we installed. And just throughout the year, a lot of the offenses seemed to be doing the same things, a lot of
Right.
motion, a lot of shifting, whether it was out of this formation to that formation. It was different week to week, but our guys did a good job of applying week to week and getting better in that way. And I think you saw that in the last game. I felt like they put some motion on us, and I thought we handled it really well.
Absolutely.
But it was good to have a nucleus of 7 guys in the back end that were really comfortable with what we were doing, and then we could add to it for sure.
Right. Well, we're going to take just a minute, and I'm going to show the fans the CA run-out video, and it'll give us an opportunity to possibly even move in a player or two. So let's see what that looks like. This is the run-out video. I want to thank Kason Troutman. He's been doing a fantastic job, Rose Rock Productions, for the Carl Albert Titans, and he's just done a fantastic job of putting together a lot of things. And you guys may have not even seen this because you were coming on the field when this all came out.
Yeah.
But we're going to play that, and then we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more.
Think of all that time. Every sprint in the summer. Every wait in the winter. All those hours no one else saw. Every moment of doubt. Years wondering. Is it all worth it? It's all led to this. Man, I got this. It's a 60-minute drive for a 60-minute game. After all the miles we've traveled, we're almost there. After all the hours we've worked, one more can make us legends. After all that time, this is our time.
All right, we're back with you here, and we've got Oku and Todd James, Caden Davis, and we kept on Coach Herbert here. Coach Herbert, these guys just were a force this year. And so give us a little bit of idea of how these guys have progressed and you can show them a little love.
Oh, yeah. Well, Christian Oku, he's been a great corner, him and Dukes and Tristan were all kind of a rotation kind of corners, and then we used Dukes. And when we had a dime package, when we would move Dukes down to be a slot corner, Christian would come in and be that corner on the left side. Todd was our weak safety, played there last year. It's kind of been his position the last couple of years, and he really settled in this year and did a great job. And the weak safety position for us is such a big deal because they're always making the backside calls.
Right.
And, Caden started out as a sophomore. He played our Viper D lineman position, was really solid there. We got to a point where we just wanted to get a guy that's a playmaker in a linebacker position to be able to not just stay on one side of the ball and get out and make plays. So Caden moved to linebacker as a sophomore and, kind of was run, he went, and did a great job for us at linebacker. Obviously, he's the all-time leading tackler in Carl Albert history. And, all three of these guys are way committed. They're all three black shirts, and that's a big deal to us to have, the defense and, have them wear their black shirts at practice and just, leaders on the team. Those guys exemplify that in the weight room, meetings, and summer PC. Just three guys that were just like we kind of said earlier, just very consistent guys. They were the same every day. We didn't have to worry about the ups and downs of, whether they were going to practice well or not. They just were always the same. So we were really fortunate to have these three guys as a part of our defense. For
Absolutely. Sure. So, Caden, we talk about you and your speed. Todd James, we talk about you and your speed. Christian Oku, we talk about you and your speed. Speed kind of kills, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And who would you guys throw in with you for a 4x100?
Tristan.
Tristan. Okay.
Yeah, definitely Tristan.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a couple guys I think that you could throw in there. I mean, Dukes was on the 4x1,
right?
And then, all these guys are terrific track athletes. I think that's something that is kind of a big part of Carl Albert Athletics is that a lot of our guys participate in other sports. It's not just about football at our school, we've got guys that tonight are playing basketball, at Noble. LeBron Royal being one of them, and Austin Johnson, Delijah Matthews, Darion Thomas, all those guys that are young that are also, played a 19-week football season or now they got one day off and then they're playing basketball. But I think that's great. I think that's
absolutely.
I think that's one of the best things about it. Is those guys that go out and run track or go play baseball, go play basketball, or they wrestle.
4 years, you guys. Anybody can answer this, and you'll have to help with the microphone there. But anybody can answer this. 4 years of football at Carl Albert and 3 state championships, 3 back-to-back. And so, what were your feelings walking off the field this past Saturday night?
For me, it was pretty surreal. After walking off freshman year, kind of with that semifinal loss, I think everybody, all the senior class, kind of feel the same way, that we knew that we kind of came together and said we don't want to feel this way anymore. And I made that known to Coach Herbert and Coach Dunn that I didn't like the way that felt. And so it was pretty surreal to know that we didn't get to feel that way again. And all the younger guys get to experience kind of the good side of things.
Yeah, I agree with Caden. It's just like surreal to see like stuff like that because we've seen that senior class our freshman year. We saw them walking off crying and stuff, and I was like, I don't ever want to feel that way. I want to have tears of joy when I walk off the field for my last time. And so I just dedicated myself and put in the work to be the best I can be and get 3 state championships.
Yeah.
I think we had really good chemistry since we've been together for a very long time. So when we went out on the field, we just played and had fun.
Yeah. Right. So when you're going against Guthrie for the second time, you guys had the intensity. how did you keep up that intensity, knowing that you had shut them out 29-0 on defense, and knowing that you were going to be coming into that game and seeing what was happening?
I think that it's really just not about them, it's about us. And that's what kind of the thing that we talk about all the time is it's really not about who we play, it's about us, knowing that we need to do the right things in our defense and just in the team in general. So it really wasn't about them. We knew we played them, but we also knew they were a really good team. And teams changed throughout the year. We don't think we were the same team that we were at the beginning of the year, and I don't think they think that either. So
absolutely.
We felt like they got better, and we got better too. So it was really just about us. It wasn't really about them.
Yeah, basically what Caden said. It's always about us. It's never about the other team because the only team that can beat us is us. And that's just how we look at everything throughout the week. And it's really a lot of competition between all of us. Like, we compete against the scout team, like Jackson Webster.
Mm-hmm.
He's a stud wide receiver. And we just love competing against him. And that's just what keeps our mindset up and going.
So, go ahead, Christian.
Going against ourselves every day, just making us better, definitely got us through this season. So that really helped a lot.
Yeah. So, Coach, just their answers. You've got coaches on the field.
Yeah. Yeah. These guys. they've been around us for a long time. Like all of them talking about the 9th grade season. I think what is something that Coach Douglas and I talked to the 9th graders about in 4th hour weights just the other day was, if you get 4 extra weeks of practice all the way through, you've
got another season.
By the time you're a senior, that's 12 weeks of extra practice, and then you get those 3 or 4 extra practices, and then now you've gotten 16 weeks of extra practice, and it's a whole nother season. So in some ways, you could think that 9th grade year is kind of a redshirt year because you're getting that, that extra, that 5th year.
Yep.
And that shows, for our guys, when we're going throughout the week, Caden and Todd, they bring good questions, about what happened in practice about, hey, what about, this adjustment or that adjustment, and it's just great to have mature,
Absolutely.
guys. And, we have really good players, obviously, but the thing I said the other night when we were in the media room, we gather them up in the media room when we come back, our meeting area, and we just kind of say, this is the last time you guys are ever going to be in this room together again as a team. And I just said, the most important thing to me is that you got a lot of really good athletes here and players, but you're all really good people.
Right.
And they wanted to win, and they worked hard to win, and we just were able to do it as a team, and I think that's what's so important about, obviously football, but just team sports in general. And then we had a bunch of guys like that have great answers to, they didn't go into that game thinking about Guthrie. They went into that game thinking, what do we got to do to win? And again, it goes back to that consistency word that we always talk about. Are we going to be consistent every day, practice this way? It doesn't have to be raw.
Right.
It just needs to be businesslike, and our guys do a good job of that. I think we've said in the office that, sometimes we are concerned that we're making these little football robots, and they're not emotional enough or this or that. But really, at the end of the day, they're doing exactly what we want them to do.
Right.
So we're really proud of that, the kind of program that they're, continuing to be a part of,
Yeah, the character and culture shows out in every way.
Mm-hmm.
The football will take care of itself in some ways, but the character and culture, they're here this evening.
Yeah.
They're not just football players, but they're also leaders on the campus.
Yeah.
And so what questions would you have for them?
Well, I guess, let's see. For Todd here, what was your most memorable moment of the season?
Most memorable moment of the season. Probably the Western Heights game. I don't know. It was just fun because when we went out there, we knew what type of team they were and how we were gonna handle that team. It was just no, actually, let me take that back. It was the it was the delay game when we went out there and all the fans were gone and we started jumping around and just creating our own energy.
I remember that because we come out after the delay. And there's nobody there. Both bands were gone. The cheerleaders were gone.
Yeah.
I think there was a couple people in our stands, but I think what he's saying there is that, and what I take from that is that the memorable moments that all these guys have is the fun they have playing the game together as a group. You know, I think that's one thing that our guys really did a great job of this year was just having fun playing.
Yeah.
You know, and that showed. I think
Yeah, absolutely.
So Caden, I'll ask you this question. If you could go back and play any game again in your career, no, I'm going to take that back because I know which one it'd be. If you could go back and play any game again from your sophomore year to your senior year, what game would it be? It could be a good thing or a bad thing.
Probably the Coweta game. The Coweta game, our first game sophomore year. I think we kind of thought we were better than what we were, and I wish I could have kind of went back at least in that week of practice for that week of preparation and kind of grounded us a little bit more. That one hurt the most. I don't think I was very technically sound, or really anybody was, and I don't think anybody really was as prepared as we thought we were. And that one hurt and kind of stung for a while because we knew we were better than what the product we put out on the field.
Coweta was a good team.
Yes.
And we played in week 0, and it's a week 0 game, and those are hard. But that game kind of changed the way we did things on defense, and I think that sometimes losing early is a good thing, and for that team it was because I felt like that game got us headed on the right trajectory. So that's a really good answer. So, Oku, all right. So I'm gonna ask you, all right. What's your most memorable game? That you think that's my favorite game that we played?
Probably Muskogee. I think Muskogee had a lot of attention, and like the crowd was going crazy.
Yeah,
I like the environment.
That was a good game. That was a Muskogee game
very
there
good
last
game.
year.
Yeah.
That's a good answer. I like that one because, that was kind of one of those games where we kind of saw what type of team we were because we knew what they were going to be able to do. And so that was good for us to go there with that group last year and go play a really good game against a good Muskogee team. So, I mean, those are 3 really good answers, because it kind of shows, where their minds go, when they talk about games. So that's cool.
All right, so each one of you just you're welcome to answer however you want to, but is there anything that and it doesn't have to be Coach Herbert just because he's sitting here, but is there anything that any coach has said to you that you will hold on to forever?
There's so many things. I feel like I don't know. I feel like a lot of people could say that I probably start using too many of the coaches' sayings. It kind of just turns into my everyday talk. I really can't think of. You put me on the spot. I can't really think of an exact thing. I always Coach Herbert talks about. Or I can't even think of the exact thing right now. Hold on, you got to come back to me. I got to think more.
So mine would be do your job, because everything you do in life is you do your responsibility. You do whatever you have to do. Whatever your thing in life is to do is you do it as long as you attack it 100%. It's 111 on the football field, and then that's how life is. As long as you do your part in the world, then you'll have a legacy forever. And I feel like I left my legacy by winning 3 state titles and just doing my job on the football field.
Absolutely.
You did.
I would say I really can't think of the exact way it's slipping my mind, but just being better than yesterday. You're better than yesterday, worse than tomorrow.
That's it.
And that really kind of sticks with me because a lot of people think they've done really good things and they kind of just live in that. And if you do that, you're gonna be stuck in yesterday and you won't be able to move to tomorrow. So I really just take that to heart and try to better myself and in all facets.
Pretty much all the coaches say this, but even if you don't know what to do it at 100%. So sometimes there was plays where I would mess up, but all I had in my mind was that as long as I went 100%, I was at least doing something. So
Absolutely.
that's pretty much it.
Just give it all. Leave it out there.
Yeah, I think we always knew that, everybody you're going to talk to tonight and everybody who's not here, I think we always knew that we were going to get their absolute best.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't ever feel like we put anybody out there that they were half in, half out. I mean, all of our guys, every grade, every role they had on our team, I felt like we were going to get the best they could do.
Right.
And I can definitely say that about these three guys, that when their number was called, they were going to go do their absolute best. And I think everybody that comes up here, that's what you're going to hear Coach Dunn say about guys. We're just really fortunate to have a whole team of that, and that's kind of what produces what we were able to do,
Right. So, not to bring up anything sad, but you guys played a great game the other night, and you brought it for Coach Wilk, and we know that. And the people that are watching, if they don't know, they can go look it up. But the legacy that he left to you guys. Can anybody want to speak about that?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Wilkie came to us sophomore year. He taught me a lot of things. I spent a lot of time with him, just me and him, working out off season and whenever, pregame, after practice, whatever it was, and the amount of time that he gave up that he just had with his, he played in the NFL. Like he didn't have anything else to, like, he didn't need to do anything. It's not about money. It's not about anything. It's just about for the love of the game and the love for the coaches and the players and his kids. And he was so personable and wanted to know how everybody was doing and really concerned about everybody. He never really got bigger than himself. It felt like, being like guys in the NFL, you think they may be too cool or just too cool, and he never was that way. He was probably the most personal person in the room, and I just want to say thank you for everything that he's done for us.
Yeah, just like what Caden said, he was a very humble guy. He played in the NFL. Yeah, he was a big-time guy, but like when he talked to us, he was down to earth, and he related to all of us from like playing the game of football. And like he was just like, if you ever were having a bad day, Coach Wilk would always like just uplift you and just make your day better. And yeah, just thank you. And Maddox, I love you, man. If you ever need to talk to me, you can always text me.
To me, Coach Wilkerson was a good listener. When I talked to him about like personal stuff, he would always help me out and listen to me. So that's pretty much.
Everybody needs to be listened to, don't they? Yeah.
Coach Wilkerson was, on the defense side of the ball, he was a technician. He was, he and I think saw eye to eye on a lot of things, and that was, great because. We could put together a game plan, and we kind of meshed in that way. And more than that, he was just a good guy. Like these players have said, is that he always brought a lot of energy, and he got the most out of the guys that he coached. And I just feel really fortunate to have been able to be around him. And I think that he made me a better coach, and I feel fortunate to have been able to call him a friend. And, obviously our heart goes out to Maddox and everybody else and just the whole team. And, that was a tough Friday afternoon.
Absolutely.
It was hard, and that's really the way to describe it. But, our guys are resilient, and I think that they grabbed onto it in a way that they felt was right, and the way they felt best memorized him, and I don't know. It was tough, and that's really all I can say about it.
Well, I can tell you, all of you, and those that are listening out there, that the prayers of Titan Nation are with all of you still. It's not it's not one of those things where you say, gosh, that was a horrible thing, but people are still praying for you and are continuing to lift up the whole team because that loss is huge. And so know that as you continue to move on. Coach Herbert, these guys have left, and they used the word, a legacy. So we were talking earlier before we went on the air, and if you could have all these guys back, would you take them back one more year?
Well, yeah. For sure.
I mean, they don't want to go to class, but it's still.
Yeah, I don't know. Some of them don't go to class. Like Caden is doing a bunch of concurrent stuff. So, high school is so different now. But, I think the main thing about it is they have created a legacy, and their picture is going to be on that wall. Mm-hmm. And I know that Coach Dunn is wanting to do some stuff for the defense that I'm very proud of. In particular because of the type of year that we were able to have. So I think they're going to be, they're going to be remembered, and they're going to be a group of guys that, as a defensive staff, that we're going to be able to talk about in that meeting room, and they're going to be remembered that way, that they played hard, they played fast, they played together, and they swarmed that football, and that's the
same speech he gives.
That's what I say every
here we go,
game.
Same one.
We say the same thing, but I just know that we're going to be able to show highlights of these guys. We're going to be able to teach tapes for the next class of guys together based on the film that we had this year, and it's just going to be great, and they're going to be remembered for. Number one, the types of people they were, how they came to work every day, and then the types of football players they were.
All right, you guys want to share anything else? You're the 2024 state champions. We just watched from the sidelines, and what have you got to share?
I really just want to say thank you to Coach Herbert. He kind of took me in sophomore year, junior year, playing linebacker, and he pawns off all the credit. He's very humble, but I think anybody that's coached with him or played for him kind of knows how different he is and how smart and how I can always bounce questions off of him, and he always has the answers for me. He's taught me a lot, more than just football, and he's not really a rah-rah guy, but every time he says something, it really gives you goosebumps. He always says it always feels just like the right time when stuff needs to be said. It's never feels far-reached or anything. So I just want to say thank you for everything you've done.
Yeah, so I just want to say thank you to the entire CA coaching staff, the entire CA family. It's just when you come to CA, it's a brotherhood, and nowadays in football, like high school football, you see all these transfers and stuff, but our class, it's not like that. When you come to CA, it's a brotherhood and it's a family, and I just want to say thank you for believing in me as a football player and just allowing me to go out there and just be my 111, and just thank y'all.
All right.
I want to say one more thing. A lot of people may come here, but not a lot of people leave. Once people get here, there's not a lot of people that leave. So even coaches, they all really want to stay too. So thank you to everybody.
Oku?
I just want to say thank you to all the coaches and everybody, because I think experience in football and my sophomore year being my first time playing football up to now made me a tougher person. And I just want to say thank you to Carl Lauber and the legacy and everything. So thank you.
All right. Well, I'm going to say this to the people that are watching, and I hope that there are some other coaches that are out there watching. You can watch their film. You know exactly how they play. But now you've seen a little bit of the character of who these guys are. Don't pass on any of these guys right here. These three right here can go play for anybody at any time at any level. And so now you can go get their tape. You can watch that. But now you know their character, and that character will shine through on the field and in your stadium. So, Coach Herbert, thank you so much for being here. Guys, thank you. Thank you for a fantastic year. Thanks for allowing me to call your games for the last 4 years. It's been a lot of fun. Sometimes I said Oku when it was James. Sometimes it was James and Oku. And it's a long ways up there, and I'm an old man with bad eyes. So anyway, thank you guys so much. You've been exciting to watch, and congratulations again on your 2024 Carl Albert Titan State Championship. You guys have earned it and deserve it all the way.
Well, thank you for all that you do. You do a great job of promoting our guys, and the streams are always so great. We love to go back and watch them, and so just thank you for everything that you do as well.
Yeah, Coach Goff and I fumble through pretty well.
We love Coach Goff.
So,
He's always at our team meals. So.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll be back with you here in just a few moments on your Carl Albert Titan Network.
Have you ever seen an insurance commercial and ask yourself, are they really telling me the truth? Well, guess what? They're not.
Somebody runs a red light and you think all of a sudden their insurance company's going to be all neighborly about it? Insurance companies aren't in the business of saving you money. They're in the business of keeping your money.
So remember, save our number in your phone so when tragedy strikes, call Rob and Will.
We're back with you here on your Carl Albert Titan Oklahoma Sports Network, and we want to thank Coach Dunn for coming back up with our offensive guys, and you can see them taking pictures of themselves and doing those kind of things. So thank you for that. Coach Dunn, who do we have up here?
All right, so LT Simmons, running back, Devin, quarterback, Devin Woodring, Dan Newton, quarterback, Wildcat, free safety, weak safety, specialist, kind of did a lot of things for us this year. Byron Stubbs, wide receiver, DB.
All right. So, guys, a little bit, just first of all, congratulations on another state championship. And we've got some new and old and all in here. So, great job for the play that you played throughout this year. You guys put up a lot of points this year. Can you tell us a little bit about what it must be like to work with Coach Johnson and the way that he puts you guys in position to make some fantastic plays?
Who wants to start? LT, you want to start? Go ahead.
Hold on. Devin should start. He's the QB here.
Okay. I'll just say I believe Coach Johnson's probably one of the best offensive guys in the state. He puts us in incredible positions, and his play calls are just remarkable. The plays that he calls are based on the defense, their tendencies and what they tend to do, and he makes great play calls so that we can overcome that and make a big play. And we got playmakers that can do that. So
yeah. Anybody else?
I'll say this: Coach Johnson, he's been calling offense. I think he said since 2009 or 8 at Carl Albert. And he's been there since 2004. But the one thing that I could say about him, what I've got to see over the 4 years and then coaching against him, he's always got the right play call at the right time, like just big plays at big moments. He knows when to make those calls. And I've watched him do it for 4 years. And, the more we get into the playoffs, the better it gets. And he's one of the best I've ever seen about setting up offense from week to week. And so it's a lot of fun to see him put these guys in positions to make plays. And this year was not easy as an offensive coordinator because it was easy that you had lots of weapons, but it's not easy when you've got so many guys that deserve to touch the ball.
Right.
So many guys that can go make plays. And so when you've got, what I thought was special about our offense this year is I want to say we threw touchdown passes to 9 different guys this year, and I know 2 of them are right here for sure. And, that's pretty remarkable. 9 different guys. So that says a lot about the quarterbacks getting the ball to different guys, but it says a lot about Coach Johnson's ability to scheme up offense. And when Coach Johnson calls plays, it's not, 92, throw it to LT. He calls offense, and quarterbacks go out and he puts a lot in their hands about what they need to do as far as reads go and RPOs and full field reads and things like that. So it's fun watching Coach Johnson work.
All right. So Devin and Daniel, it's really kind of a 3-headed monster when we go to the heavy package, but you guys were like interchangeable and on and off the field, smooth, fluid, took care of business. How does that work? Because I know everybody wants to be on the field all the time. So how did you guys handle that this year?
I just say you got to trust your coaches. I started somewhere before I came here, but when you get here and you're on a team with coaches that have won so much, you have to trust what they're doing.
Yeah.
So, and we were winning football games with doing what we were doing. So there's no complaints there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can say a lot too, real quick before Devin puts that back on. But one thing that I noticed early on, and Dan got hurt early on,
right.
But in those first few games when they were rotating back and forth, they were always celebrating each other's success.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you saw that the other night too. Once Dan came back from his injury, you could see it right away that it went right back to that.
Yeah.
And so it was very fun. That was something that was enjoyable as coaches, just seeing 2 guys that are selfless, team first guys. Like both these guys are going to go on and be big time dudes in whatever they do at the next level, and then obviously what they do in life because they're built with character. They've got great families, young men that are going to be great with whatever they choose to do, and so it was fun to watch.
I'd say Dan said trust in our coaches, but we both had to trust each other at the end of the day. Whenever I was in, I believed that he thought something was going to happen, and if we were to somehow interchange or he would go in, I knew that he was going to make a play. It's just one of those where no matter what happens, who's in, we're the Titans, and we're going to do whatever we need to do to win.
All right. It's a great testament to the coaching. It's a great testament to you guys. In our world and in our society, we get a whole lot of people saying, those high school guys, those young kids these days, and you guys played that off so well. You were just, and like I said, it was very fluid. One in, one out. It's okay, whatever it takes. And so really appreciate the way that you guys handled your business this year. So, Coach Dunn, what do you think about these guys?
All these guys?
Yeah.
Great guys. Great football players, just like the guys that Coach Herbert had up a while ago. Selfless guys, team first guys. And I've got so many cool stories that I could tell about every single one of them, and this guy was here for his senior year just like Dan. And
right.
And just, they're great kids first and foremost. Great athletes, every single one of them. And guys that do a lot of different things and will do a lot of different things for our school. Like he's a big time track guy.
Mm-hmm.
Dan's a state champion track guy. He won the disc in Class 6A last year. And so, Byron was on the relays. Devin has always been a guy that plays everything, but Devin's a guy that outside of school, he's one of those guys that he's involved in so many different things. He's involved with this church. He's involved with Cleats for Kids. And so these guys aren't just football players. They're great people, and they're people that affect the world and affect our school in so many different positive ways. So I just think that says the most about them.
Yep. Well, I appreciate the fact that you come in for 1 year or you've been here for 4 years. It matters not. You're a Titan.
Right.
And, that old saying, and I know you're going to hear it a lot once you graduate, and sometimes you'll think, oh, was I really? Yeah, but you're once a Titan, you're always a Titan. And you will always be remembered. This is an exceptional class, and you guys have really showed out and showed off. And so kind of the same question we asked earlier to these guys. Yep. Give us an idea of something that really stuck out to you this year that was special for you. It could be a play in a game. It could be a whole game. What was it?
We got LT. Memorable moment. Or what was your favorite game? One of those.
Favorite game.
Right now?
It's kind of hard. A lot of games was favorite. I had a lot of favorite games. I'll probably say Stillwater because I came from Choctaw. They beat us in the semifinals, I think. And then to just play them again and sweep them like we did, it's just the best feeling to me. I think so. Yep.
Stubbs.
I'll say one of the best games was, like LT said, Stillwater. A lot of people doubted us, said that just because we're 5A, we couldn't go to Stillwater and beat a 6A2 team just because of the way they played last year and that they won state. But we went in there and blocked out all the outside noise and went in there and handled business and shut them out.
It was a fun game.
Yeah. Byron made a big play. LT made a big play on that very first play. Devin threw the screen out there to him, and then Byron ended up scoring on the screen. Was it on that first drive? Was it the first touchdown? Third drive? Yeah. So, yeah, every single one of these guys, that was Dan's last game.
Yeah.
And he played all the way until about half and a little bit maybe afterwards. But, I mean, defensively, he did some things in that game. Like, that was one of the things that I think I have the most regret about over the season was that Dan defensively he didn't get to do that enough in his high school career because he could be a special defensive player too, and you could see it in that game.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Devin? What was your most memorable game or favorite memory?
So I got a favorite play and a favorite game, but my favorite play was probably junior year against Muskogee. I had a call.
Oh, yeah.
A PAT mess up happened. I had to roll out, throw it to Marcus. Marcus made an amazing catch.
Yeah.
But
fire call.
That was amazing. But my favorite game was probably Stillwater this year. Just because, to that season, we haven't really played someone to that caliber, I feel like. And we were their homecoming.
Right.
So I just wanted to go over there and ruin their party, basically, and we did just that. So,
well, it never made sense to me that they would pick Carl Albert for homecoming. Just you got to wonder about that decision.
Yeah. Homecoming has kind of changed a little bit. They wanted to get it done early.
Right.
I don't blame them. Coach K Wood, he talked to me before the game. He said, "You think we really want to play you guys?" He just said the way the schedule worked out, and then they just wanted to have it done before their district run. And so I understand, as a coach, I understand both sides of that. But I was glad that we came out and spoiled it. So, what do you think, Dan?
I got two favorite games. First one would be Midwest City game, just because that was my first game as a Titan, and I had a good game, had 5 total touchdowns. That was a fun game to play in. Secondly, though, I'd say the Dove City game, because I was really looking forward to that game. That was the most physical football team we played all season, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And that was a fun game to play against. Some good guys to play against, good competition, and we went out there and handled business.
Yep. Hey, and one thing I can say about these guys, I don't know if they even heard, but we took our pictures today, did our state championship pictures, and Steve Tony was talking to him just a little bit about this senior class when they were taking a senior picture. But that's the most points scored in a season for Carl Albert in Carl Albert history. Says a lot when you think about all the teams that have gone through. It was the stingiest defense, total points scored against our defense. It's the best that there's ever been at Carl Albert. You just look at what these guys did in total. I think we were averaging 49 points a game at the end of the year, and we gave up 3 3 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
That's just amazing. These guys never trailed in a game for 14 weeks, 14 games, never trailed one time. And so that's just, obviously they can talk about their senior year and going 14-0, win a state championship. But when you talk about dominance, it was by far the most dominant season in Carl Albert history, which is a long, storied history. So it says a lot about these guys and the attention to detail that they put in throughout their careers.
Well, what questions do you have for these guys?
I'm not as creative as Coach Herbert is. I don't know. Here's one thing that I would say. What is, there's a couple underclassmen here that came tonight. What are some things, like Devin, what would you say to the underclassmen?
I'd say don't ever look back. I was here all 7 years. I've had a couple transfers come in, and I've just don't let your guard down. I'd say keep fighting for what you got, and don't look back, and don't take anything you have for granted.
Good word.
What you got, Dan?
I'll probably say, don't get tired of, the small things, the repetitive things, because looking back at it now, sophomore year, junior year, this year, I was like, man, I hate going to practice every day. Practice every day is so annoying. And everybody over here going to act like they don't say that in their head every day, but they do.
Right.
They do. And, it just feels like it's monotonous. It's just over and over and over and over again, same thing. You go 4 practices, 5 practices a week for one game. But, yeah, at the end of the day, looking back at it now, it goes so fast. You're not going to think about it when you're younger. You're going to be waiting for it to be over. But once it's over, it's dang, what do I do now? So you can't take that for granted. You gotta attack every day with the mindset that it could be your last day, because you never know. And I got hurt this season, and that messed with my mental a little bit, because before that I had never missed any high school games, and it just lets you know that it can be over at any minute, any moment. So can't take nothing for granted.
Yep. Takes what it takes.
Yep.
The process. You gotta fall in love with it, even when it's hard. You gotta try to embrace it. What would you say, LT?
I probably would say keep grinding, keep pushing, keep working. Even though the season is over, keep grinding. You know what I'm saying? Because my father told me that high school would come fast. Felt like I was a freshman a couple of weeks ago. Now I'm a senior. And it's dang, it's the end, Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I just say keep grinding, keep fighting, keep proving people wrong. You know what I'm saying? People are always going to believe in yourself. Some people don't believe in nobody. They wouldn't believe in you. But just keep believing in yourself and keep pushing. Keep fighting. And work.
Byron, you got anything?
Yes, sir. I'd say don't take anything for granted. Don't think everything's going to come easy just because you're a Carl Albert Titan. You got to come out there and work every day. Like we always say, trust the process and get 1% better every day. You got to be dedicated to the team and want to win. You can't just go out there and go with the flow and go with the memo and expect everything to fall in place. You got to go out there and grind for it every day.
Great words.
Yeah, it's, we always think about that. The Titans have won 19 now and lead the state, and we're obviously looking for 20. But if you let down just a little, things begin to slip, and so it takes that work. It's the consistency, right. And might be doing A plus B every single day, but that consistency pays off when it comes time. So,
yep,
great word, Coach.
Hey, I'm just proud of these guys. Proud of everybody that's here tonight. Proud of this team, and a bunch of offensive guys that could do a lot of different things for a lot of different teams. And I'm glad that they were doing it with us. So just really proud of all of them.
All right, I'm going to give you guys the same opportunity. I know that Coach Wilk was the defensive guy, but he he affected you guys as well. He's around you that much. If anybody wants to share anything about him, you're welcome to do that at any time.
I'd say Coach Wood, he put an impact on my life when I first came as a sophomore. He asked me a couple of questions like, where did I come from? And I told him about my story, where I came from freshman year. He told me everything was different over here. He told me you're going to have to work, grind, work hard in the weight room, over the school. He said it'd teach you a lot of lessons in life about how I learned. So.
All right, thank you.
I would say Coach was a great guy, for sure. My first time coming to practice, he welcomed me in with open arms. And, ever since then, we come to practice, he'd joke with me and all kinds of stuff. And, he was just a great guy, great person to be around. He's definitely going to be missed.
To backpack off what LT said, Coach is just a great person to be around. Always had a smile on his face. I met him a few years ago at QB Impact training because he would coach the linemen there. And ever since I met him, he's just always been a nice guy, always welcoming everybody. And he made an impact on everybody that he talked to. He was a good guy to have a conversation with.
I'd say, he just always believed in me. At the beginning of the year, he came up to me pretty much between passing periods, and he was just like, I love seeing how much you've improved. I love the way I've really seen you grow. And he's just always believed in me. He never thought I couldn't do something. And we always had this special thing where something good happens, we scored or whatever, me and him would go and handshake. And he was just at my house, it feels like a couple of days ago, dropping his daughter off. And we would talk for hours about football, and he would always ask me what I'm going to do at the next level, trying to help me talk to coaches. And he was just a great guy and always believed in me. And he'll be missed very much.
All right. Well, you guys paid him off extremely well and gave him a wonderful memorial on Saturday night with that 30-6 victory. And we're here to celebrate that championship. And I know he was in your hearts as you guys are playing, and you showed that on the field. So we want to thank you and know that that all the work that you put in was able to be shown this last Saturday night. And it was a long season, but you guys came out the victors in every way. And so, again, here's four guys. Now, Daniel, you're going to Air Force, right? Yes, Byron, you got any? You don't have anything going right now? So, again, we can't let people miss on these guys. LT, you've got a call, right? Yeah.
I hold one offer right now, UCO. A lot of interest, but nobody haven't pulled the trigger yet. But
yeah,
UCO is my one offer I have right now.
Mm-hmm. All right, Devin?
No, sir.
Yeah. So, again, I mean, you're looking at championship caliber people that are all across this table. You can go watch their film and make sure that you don't pass up on these guys. And, Coach Dunn, you got anything you want to share here as we close it out?
Yeah, well, all these guys will, you're talking to them about opportunities next level, and for some of these guys, that process really kind of starts now. And so it'll be exciting to see these schools come in.
Right.
Over after Christmas break, they're kind of, it's a different world now with that, and a lot of times, especially the schools that are here in state, they're going to start coming in after Christmas break, and I'm looking forward to these guys and having a chance to go talk to some of those people and see what happens with them. So it'll be fun to watch.
All right. Well, congratulations. It's been a wonderful year. Thank you. I'll tell you the same thing. Thank you for letting Coach Goff and I call your games. It's been a lot of fun. If we mispronounced your name, it's because we didn't have a brain left. So thank you, and we really have enjoyed watching you guys play. We're going to miss you next year. To come back and hang out on the sidelines and have the opportunity to hold on to that once a Titan, always a Titan. And thank you guys for coming in. I'll leave with this, and so Daniel, your name was called more than anybody else on the NFHS network, because you came from Choctaw, and we just had to keep saying that over and over again. So want to make sure. I'm sorry, LT, and because you came from Choctaw, and so we just had to say that over and over again. So anyway, appreciate you coming over. It was your decision, and we're glad you did, and we're glad the way that you contributed this year to Carl Albert Titan football. And those guys are friends of mine, so I'll let it go with that. And so we'll be back in just a few moments on your Carl Albert Titan Oklahoma Sports Network. Sorry, Daniel. Yeah. Yeah, just one more quick one, and then we'll get out. Yeah.
Have you ever seen an insurance commercial and asked yourself, are they really telling me the truth? Well, guess what? They're not.
Somebody runs a red light, and you think all of a sudden their insurance company's going to be all neighborly about it? Insurance companies aren't in the business of saving you money. They're in the business of keeping your money.
So remember, save our number in your phone so when tragedy strikes,
Call Rob and Will.
Yep. 16 seconds. We're back with you here on your Carl Albert Titan Oklahoma Sports Network, and we've got a whole new set of players that are up here with us. Coach Dunn, give us some introductions so we know who we're looking at.
Yeah, so right here next to me is Cody Volker. He's our starting center, 2-year starter on our offensive line. Got Ethan Spiewak, state record holder, kicker for us, been our kicker for the last 4 years. Cooper Brackage and DeAndre Dukes. So it's kind of a rounded group. We've got specialists, we've got a defensive guy, we got an offensive guy. Brackage played pretty much everything for us over the last few years, and just a solid group of guys, just like the rest of the guys that are here tonight.
All right. So, Ethan, I want to start with you. Coach Goff, he thinks he's a pretty good golf coach, and he actually coached golf at Carl Albert for a long time. And he kept saying that your leg was like his pitching wedge over and over and over again. Well, you proved it this weekend, and two of them, one of them in particular, went right down to the 1 yard line, bounced straight up in the air, and you could just kind of think that guy was thinking, this can't happen.
Yeah.
And it did. I mean, it's a football, you know. It's supposed to bounce some way, and it didn't. It bounced straight up. So somebody said you'd actually been working on that. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's just something with a little change in your form, a little bit, just kind of following through up a little bit more to make it kind of spin backwards a little bit, and so when that ball hits, it just kind of stays where it's at.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that. Some of the punters do it. It's called I don't even know what they call it, but it's like they punt it like that, and it's supposed to. It hits and it stays right where it is. It's pretty similar to that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it sounds simple. I mean, you know, I think we all could probably do it.
Yeah.
But but I'm thinking, you know, as I'm watching that happen, and you didn't do it once, you did it twice inside the 10, and I'm thinking you've got to have going through your head, okay, I've got a 10-mile-an-hour wind coming out of the southwest, and there's just so much humidity. And, I mean, that's what golfers do. And here you're going to kick it with your leg and do that. So you showed off the other night. That's what it was. Yeah. You were just showing off.
Yeah, the last game had to.
Yeah, there you go.
that's also what snipers do. So he's kind of an assassin out there.
Yeah, he
really was.
Yeah. Well, I said that several times. Is that it's not often you get to say that your kicker is the weapon, but you are a weapon. So
it's gonna We've laughed a lot and joked a lot about this whole senior class, that it was going to be a sad day. The day that they walk across the stage, or the day that they play their last game, and SPWAC is no different. We've been really, really, really good on special teams, and we've never given a black shirt or a death squad shirt to anybody else other than starting defensive players in the history of black shirts, and that's been around since at least '97 that I know for sure. And so SPWAC was a guy that all the defensive guys definitely wanted to get a black shirt for, because of what he does. Just like the other night in the state game, he kicked one inside the 5. We had a tackle inside the 5. We had 2 inside the 10 and 1 inside the 20, and then he had a touchback on the other one. So their average starting position, I can't remember what it was, but it couldn't be, maybe the 14-yard line after kickoffs. And so as a defense, anytime you can pin somebody back like that, and he did that against Claremore too. He did that in a couple different games this year, but in the playoffs, just an assassin. Some of his stats, 25 of 30 in his career on field goals. Obviously broke the state record the other night in the state game. How fitting was that he kicked his 200. I think they have him down for 221, but he had one his freshman year too.
222.
So he's got 222 total, I believe. And so just to break that state record, he owns the season record of field goals at Carl Albert. And talk about just a storied high school career, and he'll be another one of the guys that'll have a chance to go kick at the next level, and he'll do that really well for somebody.
All right. Well, and Coach Herbert talked about it. Are you going to play soccer this year? Are you still thinking?
Yeah, just thinking.
All right.
Just kind of see how it goes.
Yeah. All right.
He's a really good soccer player.
Yes, he is.
He should play soccer if he needs my opinion.
Yeah. All right. So kind of the same question. We'll go a little bit quicker here. And can you think of something that was your most memorable moment that you has always stuck out in your mind? This is for everybody, not just Ethan, but yeah.
For me, it's probably last year's state game. That was just going into that game. That was it was a really cool atmosphere, playing a really good team that we matched well up, and we matched really well with. And the game, it's really high intensity, and it was just a lot of fun overall. It's probably my favorite game.
You want to talk about hitting.
Yeah,
who was it, Rodney? RJ?
Oh yeah, that helps.
He had a big. He got the hit stick in that game too, when he hit the returner on that kickoff. So that was memorable for me.
Yeah. That's what comes to mind. But just the whole game was really cool.
Yeah. That was a great atmosphere. That was a lot of fun.
For me, it's got to be the Stillwater game It's got to be the Stillwater game this year. They were doubting us a lot, the offensive line, going into it with Stillwater's really good defensive line, and it was a lot of fun to go out there and really just dominate up front and be able to push them back as well as we did with how their defensive scheme was and how well we were able to move the ball on them. That was probably my most fun playing football this season.
Yeah, just kind of a chaotic defensive scheme, and so and you were playing with a lot of young players on that offensive line. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mine would probably be the first Guthrie game this year. I love playing at that field. The atmosphere there is one of the best out there. And I got my trick play in that game, and it's just I love playing there.
Birdman.
Yes.
No, I'd have to say last year's Bishop McGinnis game, coming fresh off an injury. I lacerated my kidney that year. And then coming back and getting a pick 6 on Bishop McGinnis was a great feeling first game back.
Yep. Duke's, the year before, his junior year against Muskogee, they completed a pass and he chased it down. And when he tackled the kid and came down, I think he probably came down on his cleat maybe, but it lacerated his kidney. And so he was out for 4 or 5 games. And then he came back and instantly made our defense that much better.
Mm-hmm.
This year,
everybody – Tristan's on one side.
Right.
And so everybody thought from the very first game, you could tell very early on that everybody thought we're going to throw it over against number 8.
Yeah, take 8.
And bad decision. You know, this guy, straight dog. That's all he's got in him is dog. And,
you offered it, right? No touchdown scored against him?
Yeah, no touchdown scored against him.
Yeah.
He probably only had 3 or 4 catches maybe on him. Stillwater, they made a great throwing catch, and he was in great position on it. Guthrie had a couple the other night maybe, but we were playing cover 3, and it was later in the game, and we were just kind of playing off. And so, really, you don't really count those as much, but, just played lights out for us. One of the most memorable games for me was Del City because 2 years ago, this year he played great too, but 2 years ago they had a really big-time receiver, and we made some rules for that game, and it was basically – Dukes, you're going to be on your own over on one side of the field. You're going to be by yourself, and you got to go lock that down. And I think in that game he may have given up 1 catch in that one, and that was a team scoring 50-plus points a game. And so our defensive game plan, it kind of revolved that he's going to have to play really big. And from that game on, I told anybody that ever listened, I talk about that he was probably the MVP in that game because we kind of put him on an island, and he held his own against a bunch of really, really talented players. And so I'm looking forward to all these guys, what they're going to do at the next level and what they decide to do in life. And because just like the other guys have been up here, just great guys, great people, human beings first before football players. And just been a lot of fun to be around over these last 4 years.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to give you guys the same opportunity that we've had the other guys, and so this is the question this time, though, is and remember, you're not going to go right back into practice, so you can actually say what you think. But tell us a little bit about your position coaches and what how they have affected you throughout these last few years.
Coach Farley, the cornerbacks coach, ever since I got here, starting since sophomore year, he just, been down with me, ready to, trying to get me in early, stuff like that. And he helped me a lot mentally throughout the game, get my technique down and stuff like that.
All right.
Coach Starr and Coach Whiteley, the receivers coach, since Coach Starr got here my sophomore year, he's pushed me. He told me 3 things. I can't catch, I can't run a route, I'm not fast, what can I do? So I had to learn how to block, and I had to get in there somehow. So
yeah.
And I had to learn. He taught me everything I know. Him and Coach Wiley are 2 of the best men I know.
Great words.
Coach Madden, he's definitely one of the most knowledgeable guys I know, at least in the sport of football. And what he's been able to do with this young offensive line and what he was able to do with me last year, just how much better I've gotten over the offseason, and from being a right tackle to be able to switch to center, him being able to help me transition and doing that was definitely one of the probably best things I've ever been able to do. And, I love Coach Madden to death.
Yeah.
Coach Farley, he's a great coach. He really knows what he's doing on special teams, and he's really given me a lot of freedom on what I want to do on kickoff and between really just kickoff, but on PATs and field goals. He trusts me a lot, and he always puts me in the right position to succeed as a player. And if I'm ever not kicking my best or whatever, he gives me a couple pointers, helps lift me up, and he's always just knows ball, and he's a great coach.
Yeah. Caden Davis mentioned it earlier in the show about, these coaches, they come and they stay. And, that's important in regard to just the fluidity of the program. But one of the things that you guys have all mentioned and everybody on the show tonight has mentioned is the fact that you've got great men that are coaching great young men. Mm-hmm. I always tell my freshmen when they come in our program, you're not young men yet, but you're going to leave here a young man. And you guys have really proved that. You guys have shown that character and the culture of our team And there's a lot to be said about the great men that are coaching you to be great young men. And you guys are all great young men, and we appreciate everything that you've done for the Carl Albert Titans. Well, again, congratulations on your championship. Coach, you want to share anything else about these guys that are sitting right here?
I think we've kind of said it all about all these guys, and you nailed it. I think the best thing that you can say about high school kids is, I always say, consistency. And these guys are so consistent with just the day in, day out. You know what you're going to get from them. You know what you're going to get from them from an athletic standpoint, from a practice standpoint, but from a character, behavior, from an effort standpoint. There's so many good things you can say about them, but I think that starts with consistency. And when you have consistent coaches that have consistent expectations, and then these guys live up to those expectations and standards, special things can happen. And that's what I think you saw this year, was a combination of a lot of things. But at the end of the day, we had a bunch of really good players coming back. We had a bunch of good players that we were gonna fill into some spots, and then these guys just ran with it. And so I'm just, again, so proud, so glad to be the coach of this team, and so glad to be a Titan, like the song says. And it's a lot of fun doing what we do, and it's because of these guys.
All right. Well, thank you guys for being on the show this evening. Congratulations again, 3 in a row, and it's exciting to be a part of that. And we hope that you will continue to excel in the next sports that you're going into, and we know that you will. And so we hope that you'll continue to come back around, have the opportunity to hold on to that once a Titan, always a Titan, and come back and be around the program. You're a special class, and we thank you for everything that you've done, and look forward to having the opportunity to call more games. And it's going to be, I called you the old man when you were on the coaches show before, but you've done a great job at growing up the guys around you as well. And so really appreciate that. So we'll be back in just a minute. Right now we're going to show you the presentation of the state recap, and it's about 5 minutes long, so hang on, and we're going to close out this show. Thank you for watching our presentation of the Carl Albert Titan Oklahoma Sports Network and the celebration show for the 19th state championship here at the Carl Albert Titans, and 2024 champions all around. And look forward to having the opportunity to be a part of this group again next year as we move forward for the record-breaking pursuit of number 20. We'll be back with you next week here on the Coaches Show, and we hope that you will enjoy this presentation of the state recap, again by Kason Troutman.
This is everything you've been waiting for. This is everything you've been working for. All we ask you to do now is go finish the job. Go finish the job. 4 quarters, hard-nosed, Titan football. There's going to be a state champion about 9:30. Are we good? Okay! 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 2-on-2. Hold on. Go! We are a championship team. We play like champions do, okay? It doesn't matter if you wasn't here last year. You are a champion. When you put on that Titan uniform, you are a champion. When you put on that helmet that says Titan, you are a champion. Every snap, every down that we go out there and play, we play like champions. Do we understand? So glad to be a Titan. Yeah, dude.
I know we just
It's time to work.
I need my advance on the next one too. They know I'm gonna be around. Yeah. I need it.
Metro Boomin want some more.
Cause I got a really big team, and they need some really big rings. They need some really nice things. Better be coming with no strings. Better be coming with no strings. We need some really nice things. We need some really big rings. I got a really big team. I got a really big team. They need some really big rings. They need some really nice things. Better be coming with no strings. Better be coming with no strings. We need some really nice things. We need some really big rings. I got a really big team, man. What a time to be alive. You and yours versus me and mine. Are we talking teams? Are we talking teams? Are you switching sides? Wanna come with me? Look at the smile on me. Look at the eye on me. I do not chase girls, but they run a mile for me. Say she gon' ride for me. I buy the tires for you. This game is different. You only get one shot when go foul on you. Man, all. Man, we want it all. Don't get too involved. We gon' knock it off. And to top it off, I'm with all the dogs. It's a new season, and we still breathing. And I got a really big team, and they need some really big rings. They need some really nice things. Better be coming with no strings. Better be coming with no strings. We need some really nice things. We need some really big rings. I got a really big team. I got a really big team. They need some really big rings. They need some really nice things. Better be coming with no strings. Better be coming with no strings. We need some really nice things. We need some really big rings. I got a really big team. And I got a really big team. And they need some really big rings. They need some really nice things. Better be coming with no strings. We did it! We need some really nice things. Destiny. Dominated. Finish. Come on. We like that. We did, coach. Everybody, let's go up. I am so proud of every single one of you guys for fighting through what we had to fight through the last couple of days. There was business to be handled. You guys will handle it. Never flinch. Never flinch. That's for Coach Wilkinson. That's for Coach Wilkinson. Great job. Hey, you guys know what time it is. Everybody earned this, but this one's going home tonight with Maddox Wilkinson. Yes, sir. Stand up, Maddox. We love you, bro. Stay checked off. Stay checked.
Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the Oklahoma Sports Network's consent is prohibited. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be used without express written consent.